what is it like to have Walker Parker's back in the offensive line room for you guys as a whole?
Oh, it's great, man. He brings a great senior leadership dynamic to our team. Obviously, he's a guy who's racked up a lot of snaps in his career, a lot of in-game experience, but more important to that, he's a leader to our guys. He's setting the standard for us every day, holding us accountable, making sure, for example, we have a rule where we grab 2 lines after every play. He's the guy that's always on your butt trying to get you to do that. So, super thankful for Walker. Great to have him back.
For you, what does it feel like, I guess, going into this camp, being a little bit more established and knowing you can play different spots, that you're kind of an MVP along the line. You can play just about anywhere.
I mean, it's great, to be able to have an opportunity to play multiple positions. I'm a guy who I don't really care where I play. I just want to help impact our team. I want to help us go out there and win on August 31st. So whatever they need me to do, I'm more than happy to go do it, and I'm willing to learn more. Shoot, I'll go out there and play receiver if I got to.
Are you more comfortable left or right? Or
Not really. Growing up, I've had an opportunity and really, really blessed to have a great trainer growing up. I've been able to work both sides of the ball for years now, so I think I've been able to balance it pretty well.
Is there a difference when you switching, I guess, from the left to the right side, or is it kind of, I guess, the same?
Not really. I mean, the biggest thing that I've noticed is just having to spend a little bit of extra time up there in the meeting room, just making sure I got all my rules and details down pat, so whenever I do switch, I don't have like a little glitch moment. Because I'd say that was my biggest problem last year around this time, was just switching back and forth and just getting the two mixed up. So over the offseason, I spent a little bit more time studying. I feel a lot more confident in my preparations.
I've heard more than one offensive lineman. It started with Blake saying their why. Is that a big deal for you guys this year, finding your why heading into the season?
You have to know it. You have to. It's so important to what we do, because there are days, I'll be honest, I don't want to go out there and practice for 20 periods, but I got to make myself do it. You got to dig deeper. You got to find your deep resolve, which for me is my granddad, John Schroeder. Played football up at UNC. Had an opportunity to go play up in Canada and mess his hip up. So actually, I was just talking about that with some guys up there the other day. It's been my duty in my mind to finish the job that he started. So whenever I'm in my head, whenever I'm down on myself, I just think back to my granddad.
Is he still alive?
No, he got sick and passed away.
How long ago?
When I was about 10 years old.
So for you take his memory out there with you
I do.
every day?
I do. It's super important to me. I grew up idolizing my granddad. He was my superhero. I was up there wrestling him on the bed when I was about 8 years old, trying to figure out how I can get big and strong, maybe win one day. So for me, football is all about playing for his memory.
What position did he play?
Wide receiver.
So where do you get this size from?
God and broccoli, I guess. I don't really know.
So I guess that's your mom's dad.
Yes, sir.
And does she talk about that you remind her of him a little bit, or?
I honestly just keep that to myself. That's my personal motivation. It's the first time I've ever really shared something like that. So
yeah.
My biggest thing is I want to be vulnerable, and I want to put myself out there, because I feel like the more I talk about it, the more I can turn that into fuel for myself.
For you guys, why was that kind of a team thing, or is it kind of like the players that you guys wanted to just have a why when you come and play?
As an offense, we've made it a huge objective over this offseason to get closer. So we have our little small groups that we have. We all got divided up into about 6 teams. We're getting vulnerable with each other. We're getting close. We're really getting to know each other on a personal level. Because in my mind, when we step out there on August 31st, that's what's going to be the biggest difference for this team, is how close we are.
Do you feel like you guys have achieved that? Are you closer? Have you bonded?
Most definitely. I know things about guys that I never would have even guessed at this time last year. So really just gelling as a unit and playing for each other. That's our purpose.
Is that a player-led thing, or is that the coaches?
Player-led.
Okay. Yeah, because I think I heard that you guys were meeting up at least once or twice a week. Or what are all those meetings about? Is it film study or?
A little bit of both. Guys just wanting to get in a little bit of extra work, making sure we're ironing out our details. But really, it's just players taking initiative.
I think I heard Cade's at the front of a lot of those meetings in terms of telling you guys the standard things he wants, and also receivers where he wants them to be on routes and stuff like that. How different is that from Cade in terms of that?
Cade has done an incredible job stepping up his leadership this year. I feel like he's really coming to himself. He's really figuring out who Cade Klubnik really is, and that's showing dividends out on the field. That's a guy that, I'd run through a brick wall for. So I'm just excited to go out there and see what he can do in August.
Why would you run through a brick wall for him? What is it about him?
He's genuine. He's him. He's not concerned with putting on a front for anybody else. It's just Cade. And he knows that, and he knows that we know that.
Marcus Tate was saying the other night, you guys need to finish. Coach Sweeney was wearing a finished shirt. From what I've heard, that's been kind of some of his post-practice talks a little bit is you haven't earned anything. Is that a big deal for this team this year? Is finishing?
Oh yeah, we're not satisfied with what we've done in the last few years. You know, we know that we are a championship caliber team. We know we have it in us, and we know that we haven't finished in the past. So I guess that's a lot of people's words for this year, is just really pushing all the way through the end and making a statement at the end of the year.
This is the first